Welcome to Chicago Bulls News, your go-to source for the latest updates on the Windy City's favorite team. We've got you covered with breaking news, trade rumors, and in-depth analysis of everything Bulls. From United Center to the front office, we're bringing you the inside scoop. Hit subscribe and let's talk Bulls basketball. In today's video, we're going to be diving deep into the controversial topic of Nikola Vucevic and his standing as one of the most overrated players in the NBA. The Chicago Bulls made a big splash a couple years ago when they traded for Vucevic, hoping he would be the missing piece to help propel them to the top of the Eastern Conference. But as we all know, that plan hasn't exactly panned out the way they hoped. In fact, many analysts and experts around the league have now started to label Vucevic as one of the most overrated players in the entire NBA. That's a pretty bold claim, especially for a guy who's been an all-star multiple times in his career. But when you take a closer look at Vucevic's production, impact, and the Bulls' struggles since acquiring him, it starts to become clear why he's garnering that overrated label. So in this video, we're going to break down why Vucevic is being viewed in this way, what the Bulls got wrong in trading for him, and most importantly, what lessons they need to learn going forward to avoid making similar mistakes with their roster construction. This is a spicy topic, so buckle up, because we're about to dive right in. As I mentioned, Nikola Vucevic has been an NBA All-Star multiple times in his career, making the team in both 2019 and 2021 while with the Orlando Magic. He's also put up some very impressive individual stats over the years, averaging a double-double in 6 out of the last 7 seasons. So on the surface, it would seem like Vucevic is a highly impactful, elite-level NBA big man. However, when you dig a little deeper, there are some major issues with his game and production that have led to the overrated label. First and foremost, Vucevic has never really been able to translate his individual statistical dominance into winning basketball. Over his 11-year NBA career, his teams have only made the playoffs 3 times, and they've never advanced past the 1st round. That's a pretty underwhelming track record for a guy who's been viewed as one of the better centers in the league. And it's not just about his team struggling. Vucevic has also had issues making a real difference in the games that actually matter most. In his 3 career playoff appearances, his numbers have taken a significant dip, averaging just 15.3 points, 9.0 rebounds, and 2.7 assists per game. Those are far cries from the 19.5 points, 10.9 rebounds, and 3.4 assists he puts up in the regular season. So there's clearly a disconnect between Vucevic's individual statistical production and his actual impact on winning basketball games. And that's a major red flag when trying to evaluate a player's true worth and value. Another big knock on Vucevic is his lack of elite-level defensive impact. Throughout his career, he's been viewed as more of an offensive-minded big man who struggles on the defensive end. And the advanced stats back that up his career defensive rating of 112 is pretty mediocre, and he's never made an all-defensive team. Contrast that with other top-tier big men in the league like Bam Adebayo, Rudy Gobert, or even the Bulls' own DeMar DeRozan, and it's clear that Vucevic is a major liability on that end of the floor. And in today's NBA, where defense is arguably even more important than offense, that's a huge problem. Now, it's worth noting that Vucevic has tried to improve his defense over the years, and he's become a better rim protector and pick-and-roll defender. But the fact remains that he's still nowhere close to being an elite two-way player, and that holds him back from truly being considered one of the league's best centers. And when you combine Vucevic's lack of impact on winning and his defensive limitations, it starts to become clear why he's being viewed as overrated. He's a very skilled offensive player who can put up gaudy numbers, but at the end of the day, he doesn't move the needle enough to be considered a truly elite, franchise-altering type of player. Which brings us to the Bulls' ill-fated decision to trade for him a couple years ago. When that trade went down, many people, myself included, questioned whether it was really the right move for the Bulls. Sure, Vucevic was putting up great numbers in Orlando, but was he really the missing piece that could help the Bulls take that next step and become a true contender in the East? Unfortunately, the answer to that question has been a resounding no. Since acquiring Vucevic, the Bulls have struggled to find consistent success, making the playoffs just once and failing to advance past the first round. And Vucevic's individual numbers, while still strong, haven't translated to the level of team success the Bulls were hoping for. In fact, many would argue that the Bulls' problems have actually been exacerbated by the Vucevic trade. By giving up valuable young assets like Wendell Carter Jr. and 2 first-round picks, the Bulls significantly depleted their depth and long-term flexibility. And Vucevic's inability to truly move the needle has left the team stuck in a state of purgatory, not bad enough to tank, but not good enough to be a legitimate contender. So what are the key lessons the Bulls need to take away from this whole Vucevic debacle? Well, first and foremost, they need to be extremely cautious about trading away valuable future assets for established veteran players, no matter how talented they may seem. Too often, teams get caught up in the allure of acquiring a proven star, without properly evaluating how that player's skill set and impact will mesh with the rest of the roster. The Bulls fell into that trap with Vucevic, and it's cost them dearly. Moving forward, the Bulls would be wise to focus more on building a cohesive, well-rounded team with complementary skills and a clear identity. Rather than chasing individual talent, they need to prioritize finding players who fit their system and can elevate the entire team. In the end, the Nikola Vucevic trade is a cautionary tale for the Bulls, and really for any team looking to accelerate their rebuild through a major veteran acquisition. While Vucevic is certainly a talented player, the overrated label is starting to stick because he simply hasn't had the kind of transformative impact that his individual stats would suggest. The Bulls need to learn from this experience and focus on building a roster that is truly built to win, rather than just trying to piece together a quick-fix solution. It's going to take time, patience, and a clear vision, but if they can get it right, they have the potential to become a true powerhouse in the Eastern Conference for years to come. So there you have it, my thoughts on the Nikola Vucevic situation and what the Bulls need to take away from this whole ordeal. As always, let me know what you think down in the comments. Do you agree that Vucevic is overrated, or do you still think he can be a difference maker for the Bulls? I'm curious to hear your take. And of course, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.